Welcome to another euro dollar update. So this is the bullish version of what I expect to happen in the euro if it's a bullish market. This is the new interpretation that I have come up with in order to support the bullish view. Right now, the first thing you have to understand is that this wave one would mean wave one of a wave three. Okay, so previous 1, 2. This is the second one too. This means this thing is basically heading into a third of a third wave to the upside. If this is right, okay, I'm not a financial advisor. This is my opinion on the bullish view. If we had to have a bullish view, this is what it would be. Now, as you know, I've become bullish on the stock market and also on cryptos. So this has forced me to take a deeper look into the waves and how I perceive them, and also looking into basically the collapse of the US dollar against other fiat currencies and what that may look like in the pattern. Okay, now, interestingly, down the bottom of this particular wave, so we call this a zigzag A. Okay, now when wave A is the longest, or the biggest, sorry, the rest of the waves usually are smaller. Okay, now I've been looking at this pattern for years, but it's always made me wonder, why or specifically Elliott, why does it look at this pattern like it's a wave 4 when there's nothing really to suggest that it's a wave 4? Because why would wave 4 need to be so incredibly huge compared to no particular wave 2 that was deep or anything strange? To me, it's almost as if the entire C wave of this move. So if we had A, B, C, I would say C ended down here, and then this was actually B, C, D, E, right? It's this is my opinion. What is the potential reasoning for this particular kind of move? I do believe that there was a bit of confusion during this time as to what this pattern was. No doubt there was. Even I was pretty confused. But I suppose, using hindsight, I'm just trying to really determine what these waves mean. Right now, if this was like a wave 4, then this particular wave here, I don't think it'd look the way this particular wave does. I think that this particular wave here is a bit too long to be a 3-wave move. So therefore, it sort of gives me a clue that this is not a B wave. Like if there was A, B, C, D, E, or whatever, I don't believe that this is a 3-wave move. So that means this view comes into light and starts to make sense. This particular wave here was extremely bizarre. To me, that fits perfectly in line with an E wave. Okay, so if that's an A, B, C, D, E, this is wave 1 of the third of a third wave. Okay, so I suppose, so how can I explain it? So if you have a look at this wave A here, right, this is an expanded, well, it's sort of expanded, but it's not really. I call this I think it's a type 1 expanded zigzag, where basically the end of wave B, it ends around the same area as the end of wave A. So that's fine. Now, if you have a look try to picture it like this, right? Picture it like this. So you have your A wave here. A here. All right, I just can't change the color of that. Same deal here. You have your A wave right there. Right? Then you have your B wave. Okay, your B wave is a 3-wave move. Okay? So right there's the B. Right there's the B. right? Down the bottom. This is a smaller version, but it's the same thing, right? Now, if you have a look at this C wave here, it was, it was a deep kind of C wave. But if you have a look at the C wave in here, in this wave 2, I just want to zoom in on that and show you something. All right. Now, another piece of evidence that I'm using here is this very small correction, right? Now, I tried to see if this was part of a correction, but it's not. This move that came after this low was part of basically the next move. And then looking upon closer inspection of this particular wave, I did find that we were dealing with a 5-wave weak wave C, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within this pattern. Okay, so that added just way more evidence to me that this can't be a 33535 in here somewhere. It's actually the end of the correction. It just happened there, and that was the end of a C wave. So basically what that means is this is a D wave, what we're seeing here, right? And what we're seeing here is another E wave, right? So first of all, I can see that there's a first zigzag here. Okay, this is a good reason why I was getting my analysis wrong in the previous ideas, right? It's because I wasn't dealing with a 33535 pattern. Essentially, what I'm dealing with here is an E wave, which is just a pain wave, because they're not easy to identify, but once you identify them, you can just leave them alone for a while until they play out, because they take a while to play out and they look pretty messy, right? So I can see here 1 zigzag, 2 zigzags, right? So we're looking for, so that's 1, 2, 3. Now we're looking for 4 before we move in the last wave down for 5, right? So I'm also looking at this sort of thing when investigating potential moves in other markets against the USD, like, in my opinion, cryptos, right? Where I'm expecting another move down in something like XRP, Ripple, right? And other cryptos. I am expecting that extra move down before we create a low, before we put a low in place, right? So this is the sort of thinking that I'm going down at the moment when analyzing markets. Now, you also have to understand that the crypto run was in 2017, right? It was the same thing as what happened in this market. The crypto run, this market was in a bull market in 2017, right? So during that time since then, we have been correcting. Well, this one did top out a little bit later, but it doesn't matter. It's not the point. The bulk of the move happened during that time. And then we had our A, B, C, D, E. Basically, we've still been in a correction since that time, and we're still in it, and it's almost done. That correction is almost over if we are looking at this euro in a bullish light. Okay, this is why I'm trying to bring this ideas using every possible trick that I can think of to make this the bullish view, but making sense, right? Making sense out of something that is, it's a difficult thing to figure out, right? To have this kind of view in place requires extensive knowledge of Arias wave, right? Because how in the world is Elliott wave going to determine this to be this particular kind of pattern, right? And this is why I believe a lot of the times you get these moves that look like zigzags and they end up being what appears to be the whole correction, but then you've missed something tiny, which could potentially be the reason why you didn't see the rest of the BCDE pattern. Okay, so the reason why also this recovery has been weaker compared to the first move is because it is entirely corrective, right? That doesn't mean that very soon this thing won't start to shoot directly upwards like this, right? In a big bull market, third of a third of a third wave, right? And this type of thing, okay? This type of thinking. Does that mean there's hyperinflation on the way? I think maybe, it has something to do with it, but, let's not get into that. Keeping the rates low the way they are trying to do it is probably going to cause that to happen because they won't let the markets crash. I don't think they can let the markets crash. I don't think it's in their spirit to do so. Okay. So, not bad thing, not good thing, just what it is. Right? It is what it is. They're going to keep printing. So, they're going to keep basically this bull market going in the long run. Okay. Whilst devaluing the US dollar. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to find other methods of, you know, cryptos perhaps, Ripple XRP perhaps, to, provide that extra liquidity and, basically update the old with the new. So this to me, it's almost like becoming clearer and clearer that this is what we're dealing with here, right? To me, this midpoint in the channel is significant somewhat in that perhaps the correction will end around that area, right? Perhaps even create a head and shoulders pattern here, right? Something that will perhaps, move up like this, back down and be a failed head and shoulders pattern before it moves up, right? I don't know. It's possible. Anything is possible, right? But this is the kind of thinking that I have right now. So if you're interested in the euro, consider this view, right? I've also got the bearish view, but we have to use other pieces of evidence in order to support our view, and that is that the Fed is going to keep printing money, right? That alone, I think, should basically point you towards more of a bullish view in this case, rather than the bearish view. So I think we're gearing up for a large move coming soon, fairly soon, fairly soon. And I think it's an exciting time for markets coming soon. So anyway, hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.